Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So at this point, I'm running out of quirky intros for these Nijisanji drama videos. You just know what they are at this point. You know why you're here. You're here to see some drama. And today we're going to cover some ongoing drama involving a promotion for Nijisanji that was shared yesterday. And we're also going to look at some Nijisanji related controversy involving former talents that has truly gone full circle in really the best way. So let's begin with the latter there. We're going to begin with Doki Bird, who of course was Selen Tatsuki, who was terminated by Nijisanji EN back in February of this year. And since returning to her past life account, Doki Bird, she has been doing insanely well and recently has been setting up large tournaments featuring other VTubers, which is not too surprising because that was something she was very well known for when she was at Nijisanji EN. She was responsible for setting up many different large international tournaments for the agency that was very beneficial to the livers featured as well as the fans who enjoyed these tournaments. However, a lot of people don't know this. Back in August of last year, she had her permissions pulled by Nijisanji management, and she was publicly announcing in this tweet that she could no longer set up these international tournaments while some other talents from the agency retained their rights to do so, which left a lot of people very shocked and confused as to why someone like Selen would have her permissions pulled when she has a sterling reputation and these tournaments were extremely successful. And a lot of people at the time said, hey, this should be your final straw and you should leave the agency and go pursue something else, which little did we all know at the time the nightmare that would ensue over the coming months that would lead to her termination. However, since returning to her Dokibird account, she has set up another very large tournament that premiered yesterday, Wrestletuber 2024, and you can see the large number of VTubers in this tournament. Many different large independent as well as corporate VTubers were in this day one of the tournament. And also during this day one of the tournament, we got a very surprising cameo from another former Nijisanji EN member.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? That was your cue! I don't know how I could have made that any more clear here.
Wait, where do I go? I'm just, hold on.
Alright, let me move a little
Is the seat
bit.
taken?
Of course, that talent you see there is Mint Maid, who is formerly Palmu from Nijisanji EN, who recently graduated only a few months ago. And just like Doki Bird, she has returned to her past life account to a great deal of success. And looking at these side-by-side comparisons here, a lot of people are considering this the good ending, okay? They were able to escape Nijisanji and go back to their independent careers and have massive success, and at the very least, seem like they're having a much better time and they seem much more freed, away from the chains of Nijisanji, and they're able to flourish in all the ways that they always wanted to. Now, a lot of people also always bring up in videos like this, they're like, hey, don't bring up their past lives. This is not even like a poorly kept secret at this point. It's not even a secret. We all know that these are the past life accounts of these former Nijisanji EN talents, and also they are not very shy about bringing up their own past life accounts, including their old collaborations while they're at Nijisanji EN.
He's on the island? Do you not know that UK is an island?
Oh, wait, you're right.
Bro! You know what? I shouldn't be surprised. You in geography, I should.
What do you mean by that? You as well.
And you know all the flags in the world. Alright, Poma, what flag is that?
It's European.
Okay. Wait, what? Poma, okay, let me do this again, Poma. What flag is that, Poma?
We're the top of Mount Fuji.
Alright, where is it? Oh shit, it is Africa.
This is not Africa.
Oh, this is. I'm sorry.
However, you might have also guessed that some of the Niji sisters would be very upset about this collab. You can see posts like this saying, Min and Doki stream, Palmu's past Niji behavior has been something else. Can't believe I considered her my Kamiyoshi at one point. Now she's hanging out with that woman that shit all over her coworkers' hard work. Might just throw out my Pomu merch. Yes, I see this new narrative being spun by a lot of the hardest Nijisanji defenders, where they're trying to paint people like Mint or Doki Bird as these aggressive people who are ruining the time for everyone else and backstabbing all of their former livers they used to work with, when that is completely the opposite of what actually happened. Let me pull this out again. I feel like every Nijisanji video I pull out this joint statement from Alira Pendor reacting to the Dokibird / Selen termination back in February, the joint statement alongside Vox Aqua and Ike Eveland, where they threw Dokibird under the bus and basically portrayed her as this terrible person, and they made up a bunch of things that we now know are lies, and also shared some personal information about Dokibird in the process against her wishes. And this was something that was shared by nearly the entirety of the EN branch from Nijisanji. Almost every single talent either directly promoted that stream and statement or retweeted it at the very least. So if you want to talk about crapping on people's work or backstabbing anyone, I think this is what it looks like, not what they're doing by flourishing in their independent careers. Now, moving back to Nijisanji EN as a whole, they have a big promotional event that they announced yesterday, so let's take a look at this. So here is the collab project between 30 Nijisanji EN and Nijisanji livers who will be joining the 30 NBA teams. Now, this is not something that I think people are angry about or anything like that. I think a lot of people are genuinely confused about this collaboration between Nijisanji and the NBA. Okay, like how many Nijisanji fans are really into the NBA? They really enjoy basketball that much. And I know that sports collabs are nothing new for vtuber agencies, even including Nijisanji, but the NBA just seems like a interesting choice. Not a bad choice, just an interesting choice. And it's like, you think about like, what are these talents, are a lot of these talents going to be really into the NBA? Like, is Uki Violetta going to sit here and talk about his favorite NBA teams and the ins and outs of basketball? I don't think so. But I could think of a few reasons, or at least one reason why someone like Uki Violetta might enjoy the NBA.
He's sweet. Yeah, he is. Haha. Surprise, white man does the bare minimum. You're a fucking psychotic, crazy white man.
Okay, but in all seriousness, it looks like a pretty interesting event, but there is one thing to definitely keep in mind, that there's 30 NBA teams and only 30 livers from Nijisanji who are attending, and you can see the vast number of EN livers featured in this collab. Of course, there's going to be an issue here because some people are going to be left out. And here is one of the EN livers who was left out of this collab, Victoria Brightshield, who has only been a part of Nijisanji EN for less than a year now, but she has had a rough go of things, and this collab was something that added to it. So she said this in a tweet, responding obviously to the announcement, saying, "Thought about it, still feels bad to be left out. Talk about confusing when you find out about it publicly along with everyone else." So clearly she wanted to be a part of this collab and didn't even know about it until it was already announced. Like, this was something she would have been interested in, but she was never even told about it, and she found out that she was not a part of it when it went public, which is always the crappiest way to find out about anything in life. You'd much rather find out from within your organization or privately before the public is the one who ends up finding out and you see yourself on the outside looking in. Obviously not a very good feeling. And like I said earlier, it's been a rough go for Victoria Brightshield. To be honest, her generation that was announced back in October, I think by many standards has been underutilized and kind of a lost potential because they haven't really been promoted the way that they could have been. But also, I mean, she has outright stated that some of the people she looked up to were Pomu and Selen, who of course would graduate and get terminated shortly after her debut with Nijisanji EN. And also another thing to add on top of this is that she was forced out of a Tekken tournament. This is something she tweeted about a few weeks ago, and this was very confusing because fighting games is kind of her thing, but she announced here that she couldn't participate anymore in that specific Tekken event, while other Nijisanji EN livers like Claude were able to continue participating in this event, which raises a lot of questions from other people about why some people are left out and some people aren't. Now, another person left out of this NBA collab is Rosamie Lovelock. Now, why are people so focused on her being left out? Well, from all accounts of her community, she sounds like she's a legitimate basketball fan and cares about the NBA, for example. So, you had this big collab with the NBA, and you have someone who actually likes basketball. She seems like a shoo-in, right? But they left her out, which is very, very strange, and starts raising some questions by people about favoritism, because that is something that's been raised over and over again about Nijisanji and how people get awarded certain opportunities within the organization. Some claim it is the act of favoritism and cliques within Nijisanji, and that is something that former talents have often talked about. So here's some posts saying this: Rosamie, the only Niji to give a shit about basketball, not participating. Vivi ain't either. Yeah, they're leaving. Reminds me of how Fantome wasn't able to participate in any sponsorships or merch collabs after she put in her graduation notice. Can't play Power World when everyone is having fun with it. Can't play Tekken with new people because your company is allergic to one of the participants. Has no idea your company is collabing with the NBA until the public announcement. Man, that must feel awful. And sisters will tell you that Doki was lying when she said Height, Razor, and maybe even Sanrio wanted to collab with her. These are, of course, sponsorships. But she never heard anything about it because the clique decided who could receive sponsorships and brand collabs. Yeah, that really sums up a lot of the suspicions of people involving the selection of certain talents for certain collabs. And this NBA event, which is definitely, like I said, an interesting event, has left people out. And I think the easiest solution, because clearly some of the people who were left out wanted to be a part of it, the easiest solution would have been to double up. If you have 30 teams and you have over 30 livers, let's say you have a couple extra to cover, send 2 people over to a certain team. Like, you know, I don't know, like send 2 people to Detroit. Like the Pistons need as much help as they can get, okay? Send 2 people over to Detroit. All right? It's a brutal fate for someone to go alone for a team that bad. But like all jokes aside, like why not just pair up some of these people and address the concerns that people will be left out? Like clearly some of your talents weren't happy about being left out, and it just seems unfair. And again, it confirms a lot of these suspicions about favoritism and unfair treatment from within the organization. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. A lot of different updates here. So as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.